economic growth. This vision is powered by strong domestic consumption and investment flows. Enriched with natural resources, Indonesia has become an economic powerhouse and holds a strategic position as a permanent member of the G20. The government of Indonesia was committed to actualize its ambitious infrastructure goals and accelerate nationwide industrial development. Indonesia's new foreign investment regulation is a liberal investment regime and provides ease of doing business for foreign investors. This opportunity has been manifested in special economic zones by providing infrastructure, fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. Both central and local government has committed to provide tax incentives, free import duties, and exemption of excise for investors and developers. In special economic zones, there will be on-site one-stop service to serve all permits and licensing process. Indonesia's special economic zones are geo-strategically located to global supply chains. At present, special economic zone has been established in Indonesia. This is Semangke, the center of oleochemical and rubber industry in Indonesia. Semangke is integrated with international airport and seaport. Arun Loksamawe is the world's first liquefied natural gas exporter. Supported by modern logistic infrastructure, strategic location and abundant natural resources, Arun Loksamawe SEZ holds very promising future. Bitung, supported by development of strategic infrastructure, Bitung has stepped ahead to become the center of fishery and logistic in East Indonesia. Palu Integrated Industrial Zone. Palu is the main trading channel in Asia Pacific. Supported by its potential, Palu SEZ is designed to be a catalyst in Indonesia's nickel processing industry, cocoa industry, and seaweed industry. Introducing Galang Batak. Galang Batak will be developed as an industrial base for alumina processing industry, bauxite processing industry, energy and logistics as primary industry. This special economic zone has direct access to South China Sea, one of the main arteries of global economy and trade. Tanjung Api-Api SEZ is poised to become a significant player of palm oil processing and petrochemical industries. Introducing Maloi Batuta Trans Kalimantan. Maloi Batuta Trans Kalimantan is supported by modern logistic infrastructure to become an export and logistics center to support industries. Discover Sorong, the gate of West Papua. Sorong SEZ develops shipyard industry as the main business. As the country with the longest coastline in the world, Indonesia is the home to thousands of tourism destinations. At present, Indonesia has developed tourism districts as special economic zones. Discover Tanjung Lesung, one of the finest beaches in Java Island. A world-class tourism facility is established on the 1,500 hectares of paradise. Mandalika provides nature conservation while empowering local communities. The beauty of Mandalika has become more accessible, thanks to massive development of supporting infrastructures. Mandalika SEZ is currently in the most wanted list of tourism investors in Indonesia. Introducing Tanjung Kelayang, White Paradise of Belitung. Discover a whole new beach experience with its unique cluster of granite rocks decorating every angle. Morotai SEZ is home to spectacular tourism attractions. The area is known for its beautiful beaches and underwater sceneries. Morotai also holds a vast amount of tourism sites. Now the opportunity is widely open. Be a part of world's future economy leader. Nature of Indonesia, where your future happens now. Welcome to Indonesia. At the center of the world, Indonesia holds a tremendous promise. Indonesia is one of the world's leading emerging economies, outlining an ambitious target of economic growth. This vision is powered by strong domestic consumption and investment flows. Enriched with natural resources, Indonesia has become an economic powerhouse and holds a strategic position as a permanent member of the G20. The government of Indonesia was committed to actualize its ambitious infrastructure goals and accelerate nationwide industrial development. Indonesia's new foreign investment regulation is a liberal investment regime and provides ease of doing business for foreign investors. This opportunity has been manifested in special economic zones by providing infrastructure, fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. Both central and local government has committed to provide tax incentives, free import duties, and exemption of excise for investors and developers. In special economic zones, there will be on-site one-stop service to serve all permits and licensing processes. Indonesia's Special Economic Zones are geo-strategically located to global supply chains. At present, Special Economic Zone has been established in Indonesia. This is Semangke, the center of oleochemical and rubber industry in Indonesia. Semangke is integrated with international airport and seaport. Arun Loksamawe is the world's first liquefied natural gas exporter. Supported by modern logistic infrastructure, strategic location and abundant natural resources, Arun Loksamawe SEZ holds very promising future. Bitung, supported by development of strategic infrastructure, Bitung has stepped ahead to become the center of fishery and logistic in East Indonesia. Palu Integrated Industrial Zone. Palu is the main trading channel in Asia Pacific. Supported by its potential, Palu SEZ is designed to be a catalyst in Indonesia's nickel processing industry, cocoa industry, and seaweed industry. Introducing Galang Batang. Galang Batang will be developed as an industrial base for alumina processing industry, bauxite processing industry, energy and logistic as primary industry. This special economic zone has direct access to South China Sea, one of the main arteries of global economy and trade. Tanjung Api-Api SEZ is poised to become a significant player of palm oil processing and petrochemical industries. Introducing Maloi Batuta Trans Kalimantan. Maloi Batuta Trans Kalimantan is supported by modern logistic infrastructure to become an export and logistics center to support industries. Discover Sorong, the gate of West Papua. Sorong SEZ develops shipyard industry as the main business. As the country with the longest coastline in the world, Indonesia is the home to thousands of tourism destinations. At present, Indonesia has developed tourism districts as special economic zones. Discover Tanjung Lesung, one of the finest beaches in Java Island. A world-class tourism facility is established on the 1,500 hectares of paradise. Mandalika provides nature conservation while empowering local communities. The beauty of Mandalika has become more accessible, thanks to massive development of supporting infrastructures. Mandalika SEZ is currently in the most wanted list of tourism investors in Indonesia. Introducing Tanjung Kelayang, White Paradise of Belitung. Discover a whole new beach experience with its unique cluster of granite rocks decorating every angle. Morotai SEZ is home to spectacular tourism attractions. The area is known for its beautiful beaches and underwater sceneries. Morotai also holds a vast amount of tourism sites. Now the opportunity is widely open. Be a part of world's future economy leader. Nature of Indonesia, where your future happens now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tacha Chao Shanghao. And welcome to today's webinar, China Investment Opportunities in Indonesia's Special Economic Zone, which now is held in Semarang. His Excellency Mr. Jauhari Orat Mangun, Ambassador of Republic of Indonesia to China, the Honorable Mr. Xin Ningning, Executive President of China Asian Business Council, the Honorable Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman, Deputy Minister for International Economic Cooperation Coordination from the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, the Honorable Mr. Wahyu Utomo, Deputy Coordinator for Regional Development and Spatial Planning of the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, the Honorable Mr. Tanon Arya Dewangga, Deputy of Cabinet Work Support from the Cabinet Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia, the Honorable Mr. Enoch Suharto Pranoto, the Secretary of the National Council for Special Economic Zone, the Honorable Mr. Bambang Wijanarko, the representative of the Vice Chairman 3 of the Implementation Team, and he is the Deputy Director for Development and Management Controlling in the Secretariat of the National Council for Special Economic Zone, the Honorable Mr. Bobby Chris Siagian, Director for Asia Economic Cooperation from the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, Honorable all SEZ developers, and all the guests. My name is Dinar, your host for this event, and thank you for joining us today. This webinar is a medium for us to accelerate prospective opportunities, and in this case especially China investment. The government of Indonesia has developed an ultimate tool for that, namely Special Economic Zones, which we will get to know about it further later. But before we jump into the main event, we are going to have 3 opening remarks, and the first and foremost, Deputy Minister for International Economic Cooperation Coordination from the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs. Please welcome Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman.
And gentlemen, very good morning. Let me begin by thanking the organizer, National Secretariat for Special Economic Zone, for their hard work in preparing and organizing this important forum. This event is timely since Indonesia and China are celebrating our 70 years of bilateral relationship within this year. This long-built cooperation has brought countless concrete outcomes for both nations through mutually beneficial collaboration and cooperation in various sectors. China, for the last 5 years, has become our largest trading partner and one of top sources of foreign direct investment, which ranked second in 2019. Last Sunday, both countries also take part in the historical signing of the RCEP, global largest trading agreement, accounted for 29% of the global economy, 30% of the global population, and 2.2 billion consumers. This agreement provides new opportunities for Indonesia and China to further strengthen its economic cooperation and together promote peace and prosperity in Indo-Pacific region. This stronger and closer cooperation is particularly very important during the current global pandemic. 9 months into the pandemic, virus has spread to 215 countries, infecting 54.8 million and caused over 1.3 million deaths. We see many countries were facing economic contraction, particularly during the second quarter of this year. Surge of unemployment and diminishing production as well as consumption. We just passing through the extraordinary uncertainty in the third quarter as the global economy started to recover from the damage rising from the pandemic. We see the evidence of key-shaped recovery in most developed countries, in which manufacturing activity has rebounded strongly, while services activity remain weak. See everywhere the Circle K stores that also remind us that the manufacturing sector has already rebounded, while on the services sector remain weak. So the key shape of recovery. Due to COVID pandemic, our global growth is corrected significantly. As projected by the World Bank, global economy will contract sharply by minus 5.2% in 2020. For advanced economies, the contraction will stand at minus 7%. Meanwhile, the emerging market and developing economies will experience contraction around minus 2.5%. At the regional level, growth in Asia Pacific is likely to experience a sharp slowdown this year to 0.5% from 5.9% last year. Indifferent to the challenging external situation, Indonesia economic condition is also significantly impacted by the COVID-19. Our economic growth is projected to decrease quite significantly from around 5% last year to between minus 0.6% to minus 1.7%. Nevertheless, we are currently observing some economic indicators showing that Indonesia is on the path toward economic recovery. Total investment in the third quarter grew by 8.9% compared to the second quarter of 2020. Indonesian trade balance recorded surplus in October 2020, accounted $3.6 billion. Household consumption also saw improvement in the third quarter of this year, recorded at minus 4.04% from 5.32 in previous quarter. To take advantage of this momentum of the opportunity, Indonesian government accelerate our effort in improving the investment and business climate with the introduction of Omnibus Law on the job creation. This new law cuts long-standing obstacles of doing business in Indonesia by reducing red tapes, simplifying land acquisition procedures, easing restriction on foreign investment, loosening labor law, and providing more incentive to free trade zones. There are 8 clusters under the Omnibus Law, which are covering simplification of business licensing, improvement on investment ecosystem, labor, micro, small, medium enterprises, and cooperative, research, innovation, and ease of doing business, taxes, government administration, and importantly is special economic zone and land acquisition. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as one of clusters under Omnibus Law, special economic zones will play a very important role in accelerating Indonesia economic recovery post-COVID-19 pandemic, and in the longer term, creating jobs for Indonesian population which are undergoing demographic bonus. Our government are currently developing 15 special economic zones spread throughout our archipelago. 11 special economic zones are already on the operational stage, while the remaining 4 are under completion. These economic zones require private sector's involvement and investment to be fully utilized. I hope that today's forum can promote Indonesia economic zones to all the participants, especially to China's company attending this event. Indonesia government is always open and stand ready to discuss any suggestion to improve our business and investment climate. We also remain committed in improving our investment climate and ease of doing business by continuously undertaking an economic reform. Right after Omnibus Law, currently the government working very hard in providing the implementing regulation that's going to be ready beginning of next year. So please fully utilize this forum to gain as much as understanding as well as the informations related to investing in Indonesia, especially in our special economic zones. Many of our friends here, Pak Wahyu, Pak Budi, Pak Noh, and others that can share their thought, experience, as well as the update on the incentive provided under the special economic zones. I wish you all have an enjoyable discussion and look forward for productive and fruitful result from this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rizal, for the warm opening. And now we continue to the second opening remarks from the Ambassador of Republic of Indonesia to China, Mr. Jauhari Oratmangun. Time is yours.
How for our friends from China, Ibu dan Bapak yang saya hormati, Pak Rizal Afandi Lukman, Pak Bayu, Pak Bayu Tomo, Pak Budi Santoso, dan teman-teman pembicara, moderator, MC, my friend from China, Mr. Su Ningning, Executive President of the China ASEAN Business Council, distinguished participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, again, a very good morning to all of you. It is indeed an honor for me to be a part of this special event, China Investment Opportunities in Indonesia, in particular in special economic zones. And then in this wonderful forum, I'm more than happy to promote and talk about potentials and give you a glimpse of the beauty of Indonesia. After Indonesia-China established diplomatic relations on April 13, 1950, the relationship was lengthy enhanced to the higher level with joint declaration of strategic partnership back on April 25th, 2005, and elevated into the Indonesia-China Comprehensive Strategic Partnership signed on October 2013. A mountain of cooperation in various areas were formed since then. This year, we, Indonesia and China, commemorate or celebrate 70th anniversary of bilateral relations, and a couple of commemorative events have been initiated and conducted via online within this year. I'm glad to share with you that during the period of January till September 2020, Indonesia's export to China reached 26.7 billion, or increased by 6.89% year-on-year basis. The import from China reached 29 billion, decreased by almost 11%. So this figure makes Indonesia deficit decrease to 2.27 billion. So increase, we were able to close the gap by 70% year-on-year basis. And then now Indonesia number 4th in terms of trade with China, so increased by 1. We used to be number 5. When we talk about investment, during the period of January till September 2020, China is the second largest investor, valuing at this is the realization of investment 3.5 billion US dollar, increased by 6% year-on-year basis. Compared to last year, increased by 95.6%. Hong Kong number 3, so valuation 2.5. So we add Hong Kong and China, they are become number 1 now. According to the coordinating minister for maritime and investment, the downstream process of the metal industry needs to be continuously encouraged, because it not only creates jobs and transfer of technology, but can also make Indonesia part of the global supply chain. And I think it's already proven, because last month we had a meeting at Tanchong. I accompanied a coordinating minister for maritime and investment issues. We met almost 10 of the biggest investors from China. And the other thing is in the digital economy sector, Indonesia and China have established a number of cooperation in digital sector as follows. Establishment of Kura-Kura Island project. This is in Bali, launching a INA Mall in both Alibaba and Pavilion, Indonesia Pavilion at the gd.com, virtual payment, IT education, vocational training, building e-commerce, financial technology, and digital infrastructures, etc. And of course, in this endeavor, and I think our friend from coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs quite familiar with that Indonesia has collaborated with a number of outstanding companies in China, namely ByteDance, TikTok in Indonesia, headquarters in Beijing, Meituan, headquarters in Beijing, Meituan invest in Gojek, Alibaba, Jumore, JD.com, Baidu, Tencent, and recently Ping Tuotuo. Slide number 3, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, since the Belt and Road Policy was advocated in 2013, Indonesia has become an important country along the road of Indonesia. Actually, also has the same concept, which is to build connectivity to streamline cooperation with a shared future and mutual goals. So we call it the concept of Global Maritime Fulcrum. So in 2018, Indonesia and China signed Memorandum of Understanding on jointly promoting cooperation within the framework of Global Maritime Fulcrum Vision and the Silk and Road Economy Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road Initiative. Under this framework, Indonesia and China have signed 23 cooperation agreements under the framework of GMF BRI to develop Indonesia's fourth economic corridors, namely North Sumatra, North Sulawesi, North Kalimantan, and Bali. Slide number 4. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, based on the IMF World Economic Outlook Database 2020, Indonesia is an emerging financial market and the largest economy in Southeast Asia, with the GDP already past 1 billion and GDP per capita already past 4,000 US dollars. In the first quarter, Indonesia economic growth reached 2.797, but contracted sharply at 5.32 in quarter 2, and in quarter 3, the economic growth contracted by 3.49. The trend shows positive figure, albeit the contraction. I think Pak Risa already alluded in this particular issues. Investment realization up to quarter 3, 2020, amounting to 12.9 trillion US dollars. So this is a quite positive signal for Indonesia as well. Slide number 5. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic have undoubtedly injured the global economy as a whole and pushed many economies into a recession. Many sources like the World Bank, OECD, and IMF cited that the gloomy projection for the global economy will persist until the end of this year, and then growth will begin to climb to a positive position in 2021 as the economy continues to recover. And I think this is the positive indication in China as well, because quarter 3, the third quarter, the economic growth has already reached 4.9, and then many predictions says that by 2020, by fourth quarter, it will be past 5%. I've been traveling a lot for the last few months since the economic activities already started in China. I went to many cities and got the sense that many of the Chinese investors would like to invest in Indonesia. And recently I visited Wuhan, Chengdu, and then this afternoon I'm going to Shandong, and then followed by visit to Hainan and then to Nanning for China ASEAN Indonesian Expo. So this is the sense that I received from the China's private sector. So more and more interest already expressed to come and invest in Indonesia, and in particular in the Indonesia Special Economic Zone. So for ourselves, Indonesian Embassy, due to the progress in China, we are going to do some activities by the end of November and by early December. So greetings from Beijing, and I do hope that this investment forum will serve the benefit of the player, the economic player, the private sector, and in our case is the Indonesia Special Economic Zone. So once again, thank you very much for the coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs for organizing this event, and greetings from all of us in Beijing, and of course from China's entrepreneurs that participated through FOF program, not Zoom program, but VOOV program, to be a successful one. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Mr. Jauhari, very comprehensive. And now I welcome the third opening remarks, the Executive President of China Asian Business Council, Mr. Shi Ningning. Time is yours.
Keluar suara nih. Xu Ningning 先生。Distinguished Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman, Deputy for International Economic Cooperation of the Republic of Indonesia in China. Distinguished guests, 2020 marks the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Indonesia. Chinese President Xi Jinping said in an exchange of congratulatory message with Indonesian President Joko Widodo on April 13, Indonesia and China have a long history of friendly exchanges. Especially in recent years, the positioning of the relationship between the two countries has been continuously improved. The areas of cooperation have been continuously expanded, and the joint building of the Belt and Road has achieved fruitful results. From January to September this year, China maintained its position as Indonesia's largest trading partner and the second largest source of investment. The trade volume between the two countries reached $55.74 billion, of which China's imports from Indonesia increased by 6.3% year-on-year. Investment in Indonesia increased significantly to 79% year-on-year. A few days ago, Chinese State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi held talks with the Indonesian President's Special Envoy. The leader of cooperation with China and the Minister of Coordination Luhut stated that both sides should focus on the economic and social development in the post-pandemic era, strengthen cooperation in new business formats and new models such as e-commerce, artificial intelligence, big data, 5G, and cloud computing, and jointly seize opportunities in the fourth industrial revolution. Now I propose a few suggestions for enhancing bilateral economic and trade cooperation. First, the two sides should make full use of this conference to enhance mutual understanding and exchanges between enterprises of both sides and to cooperate in the development of the economic and trade complementary and business opportunities. Chinese companies investing in Indonesia can not only develop Indonesia, which is the largest national market in ASEAN, but also develop a market of more than 600 million consumers in ASEAN with the aid of the ASEAN Economic Community's policies, and develop a broader international market with the help of Indonesia's trade relation with other countries. Second, businesses from both sides should develop a clear idea about cooperation, which is to support each other, overcome difficulties, counteract the downward trend, and tackle challenges through cooperation. Today, true friendship stands out in difficult times. Tomorrow, true friendship will lead to reciprocity. Therefore, it is of great value for the two countries' companies to deepen their cooperation under the circumstances. Currently, active matchmaking is of vital importance to cooperation. I hope there will be more online meetings of this kind in the future. Third, Chinese businesses could consider making investment in Indonesia Special Economic Zones. Chinese business associations boast a large number of member companies and can therefore play a useful role in China's investment to Indonesia by gathering together their members to invest in Indonesia Special Economic Zones and launch development projects that cover large areas of land. To this end, business associations in the two countries should actively promote matchmaking between each other and facilitate cooperation between industries, which will both help develop Indonesia's industries and enable Chinese businesses to go global in more effective way. With nearly 20 years of history, the China ASEAN Business Council is more than willing to make the most of the mechanisms, informations, and channels that we have to promote new development in trade and investment cooperation between China and Indonesia, and to support the two countries to win the battle against COVID-19 and recover the economy. Finally, I wish the conference a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Xiningning. We're sorry for the technical problems. We cannot seem to hear the speech clearly. However, all the script can be downloaded through the link that we attach in the Zoom chat. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the main discussion that will be led by our moderator, Mr. Adib Muslim. Mr. Adib Muslim graduated from the Australian National University, Canberra as the Master of Art in Strategic and Defense Study, and Mr. Adib has been running his career since 1990s. Well, thank you, Mr. Xiningning. But we are having some technical difficulties here, and I would like to ask you to repeat the speech, the opening remarks, if it is possible. And I give the time and place for you, Mr. Xiningning. Time is yours.
Udah mulai ngomong tadi ya. Distinguished Mr. Rizal Avandi Lukman, Deputy for International Economic Cooperation Coordination. Distinguished Mr. Jauhari Oratmangun, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia in China. Guests. anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between President Joko Widodo on April 13. Indonesia and China have a long history of friendly exchanges, especially in recent years. The positioning of the relationship between the two countries has been continuously improved. The areas of cooperation have been continued. From January to September this year, China maintained its position as Indonesia's largest trading partner and the second largest source of investment. The trade volume between the two countries reached 55.74 billion US dollars, of which China's imports from Indonesia increased by 6.3% year on year. Investment in Indonesia increased significantly to 79% year on year. A few days ago, Chinese State Consular and Foreign Minister Wang Yi held talks with the Indonesian President's Special Envoy. The leader of cooperation with China and the Minister of Coordination, Luhut, stated that both sides should focus on the economic and social development in the post-pandemic era, strengthen cooperation in new business formats and new models such as e-commerce, AI, big data, etc. Now I propose a few suggestions for enhancing bilateral economic and trade cooperation. First, the two sides should make full use of this conference to enhance mutual understanding and exchanges between enterprises of both sides and to cooperate in the development of the economic and trade complementary and business opportunities. Chinese companies investing in Indonesia can not only develop Indonesia, which is the largest national market in ASEAN, but also develop a market of more than 600 million consumers in ASEAN with the aid of the ASEAN Economic Community's policies and develop a broader international market with the help of Indonesia's trade relation with other countries. Second, businesses from both sides should develop a clear idea about cooperation, which is to support each other, overcome difficulties, counteract the downward trend, and tackle challenges through cooperation. Today, true friendship stands out in difficult times. Tomorrow, true friendship will lead to reciprocity. Therefore, it is of great value for the two countries' companies to deepen their cooperation under circumstances. Currently, active matchmaking is of vital importance to cooperation. I hope there will be more online meetings of this kind in the future. Third, Chinese businesses could consider making investment in Indonesia's Special Economic Zones. Chinese business associations boast a large number of member companies and can therefore play a useful role in China's investment to Indonesia by gathering together their members to invest in Indonesia's Special Economic Zones and launch development projects there that cover large areas of land. To this end, business associations in the two countries should actively promote matchmaking between each other and facilitate cooperation between industries, which will both help develop Indonesia's industries and enable Chinese businesses to go global in a more effective way. With nearly 20 years of history, the China-ASEAN Business Council is more than willing to make the most of the mechanisms, informations, and channels that we have to promote new development in trade and investment, cooperation between China and Indonesia, and to support the countries to win the battle against COVID-19 and recover the economy. A great success. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Siningning. And as much as you encourage Chinese business to invest in Indonesia, we're also looking forward for it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the main discussion that will be led by our moderator, Mr. Edip Muslim. Graduated from the Australian National University, Canberra as the Master of Art in Strategic and Defense Study, Mr. Edip has been running his career since 1990s. And he is now the Commissioner of the National Consumer Protection Agency. And now he also works as the Senior Geo-strategic and Regional Development Analyst for the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs and the National Council for SEZs. And please welcome Mr. Edip Muslim.
Thank you, Dinar, for the introduction. Good morning, China. Good morning, Indonesia. Allow me to convey my thank you to Excellency Mr. Jauhari Oratmangun, the Ambassador of Republic Indonesia to China, Mr. Xu Ningning, Executive President of China ASEAN Business Council, Honorable Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman, Deputy Minister for International Economic Cooperation Coordination from the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Mr. Wahyu Utomo, Deputy Coordinator for Regional Development and Special Planning of the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Tanon Arya Dewanga, Deputy of Cabinet Work Support, Cabinet Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Eno Suharto Pranoto, Secretary, the National Council for SEZ, Mr. Bambang Wijanarko, Representative of the Vice Chairman of the Implementation Team, Deputy Director for Development and Management Controlling, Secretariat of the National Council of SEZ. Last but not least, Honorable Mr. Bobby Siagian, Director for Economic Cooperation, Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs. Thank you very much. Today, before entering the main discussion, we would like to give you a prologue regarding the background of this webinar and this event of promotion of investment opportunity in Indonesia, especially in the Indonesia SEZ. As we know together, the investment climate in Asia have been gradually transforming. Part of it because trade war between US and China have affected industries and companies that are located in China and also in other parts of Asia. Furthermore, increasing labor wage in China mainland that have met ASEAN countries been alluring target for investment. Indonesia, which have a geo-strategic positioning in ASEAN and rich in natural resources, have built policies as well as omnibus law to increase foreign direct investment in the country. One of the policy in East Indonesia is SEZ, which have full support from the central government, including this area is incentive, facility as well as infrastructure. In this webinar, we have, I would like to explain a little bit technical details of the arrangement. We have two sessions. In the first session, we will hear several speakers, prominent persons, who will introduce you Indonesia SEZ policy with all of its benefits. Afterward, we would hear promotion featured from some SEZ in Indonesia, namely here Kendal SEZ, Palu SEZ, Bitung SEZ, Sorong SEZ, and also MBTK SEZ in Kalimantan. Ladies and gentlemen, The second session will be part of our integrated question and answer session. We will invite your participation to ask questions to the keynote speakers as well as the panelists involved. You can write your question in the Zoom and VOV chat throughout the session with the following format. Please put in notice. First, your name. Secondly, your organization, and to whom you ask question, and your question itself. Our co-host in Jakarta will collect all your questions and discuss them in the Q&A session. Furthermore, we would like your participation to open the link and fill in the questionnaire that we submitted in the link. We share it through the Zoom and also VOV chat. Your participation in this questionnaire, to answering the questionnaire, is very important for us to make perfection of the first upcoming event and make a perfection on how we are going to make facilitation for you all in the near future. I would like also to remind the participants that all presentation can be downloaded using the link that our host shared in the chat room. Thank you. The first speakers of our webinar today is from the Honorable Wahyu Utomo. Mr. Wahyu Utomo graduated from Cornell University, gaining a PhD majoring in regional science. With his work in the coordinating ministry, he plays strategic roles and policy in the development of decision-making of excellent infrastructure projects in Indonesia, and in particular, Special Economic Zone. He is also now as Commissioner for PT Penjaminan Infrastructure Indonesia. Mr. Wahyu Utomo, the time is yours, please.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Edip. Can you hear me, Pak Edip? Pak Edip? Sudah. Pak Edip? Pak Edip?
Pak Wahyu, suaranya kurang jelas, Pak. Suara Bapak kurang jelas.
Oke, gimana saya pindah sana?
Mohon dicek aja, Pak. Thank you.
Pak Edip, sekarang sudah jelas?
Sudah lebih jelas, Pak. Sudah lebih jelas.
Sudah jelas. Okay. Thank you, Pak Edip, for your introduction. Zhao Xianghao, good morning. His Excellency Mr. Johari Orat Mangun, the Ambassador of Republic of Indonesia to China, the Honorable Mr. Su Ningning, the Executive President of the China ASEAN Business Council, the Honorable, my colleague, Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman, Deputy Minister for International Economic Cooperation, Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, the Honorable Mr. Tanon Arya Dewanga, Deputy of Cabinet Work Support, Cabinet Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Enwa Suharto, the Head of Secretary of National Council of SEZ, the Honorable SEZ developers from Galang Batang, Kendal, Palu, Bitung, Sorong, and MBTK. Colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm honored to speak here today on behalf of Indonesia National Council of Special Economic Zones. In the middle of global pandemic COVID-19, I would like to thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala Almighty for giving me opportunity to meet together with all of the participants here today through offline facility to discuss the topic China Investment Opportunity Indonesia Special Economic Zone. Slide please. Ini slide-nya siapa? Next. I'm already in slide number 2. Okay. I'm going to start this presentation with a little brief of Indonesia. As we know, Indonesia is a archipelagic country. It stretches for 5,200 kilometers for east to west and 1,900 kilometers from north to south. By 2025, Indonesia population will be no less than 280 million. It will be growing and becoming more affluent. Next. Indonesia has abundant natural resources, starting from agriculture, plantation, forestry, livestock, marine, and fisheries, to mining and energy. Indonesia has geographical advantages for trading because it is located between two oceans. With 268 million population in 2019, Indonesia offers big domestic market since we have large population as well as sufficient labor, including skilled labor supply. In 2019, Indonesia national income reached around $4,100 per capita. Next. Up to the year 2030, Indonesia will be of the world's youngest demographic profile, with more 60% of population below 30 years of age. In 2010 to 2035, the structure of dependency ratio is decreasing and the productive age is increasing significantly. It is a chance of a demographic bonus. This phenomenon is related to the window of opportunity for increasing welfare and improving economic growth. Slide 5. Indonesia economy has contracted 3.49% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2020 as the COVID-19 pandemic weakened the economy. However, the condition for this third quarter improved from the previous quarter. This shows that the economic recovery is heading in a positive direction. In the third quarter 2020, Indonesia economy was dominated by the manufacturing industry sector with a contribution of 24%. In the midst of this pandemic, potential sector that can survive a positive growth rate include information and communication, education services, and health services. Next. Early inception of Special Economic Zone in 2009 was due to Indonesia's high economic segregation between the regions. More than half of national GDP was contributed in Java Island with 59%, followed by Sumatra 22.7% and East Indonesia, which only contribute 18.3%. To distribute economic growth in the other regions of Indonesia, the government have developed free trade zone or carpet or bonded zone. However, development of free trade zone and bonded zone face some issues. For example, in FTZ, some issues are the government needed to spend large expenses to develop the whole area. Incentives are misdirected and used for different purposes, and also conflict of interest. On the other hand, in bonded zones, some issues are low commitment from municipal government. Location in industry sector doesn't match. Area operators are unprofessional. Thus, Special Economic Zone model was developed. SEZ model allows private sector to participate and have full authority to choose business activities, location, and how they set up their business. In compensation, central government would coordinate the facilities and implement incentives for investors in SEZ. Next. Indonesia SEZ is zones with certain boundaries within the territories of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia and designated to carry out the economic function and are granted certain facilities and incentives. SEZ shall be developed by first preparing areas having geo-economic and geo-strategic advantages and serving to accommodate manufacturing activities, export, import, and other economic activities with high economic value and international competitiveness. Next. Indonesia SEZ basically are developed in order to accelerate the economic growth of the nation and to distribute the wealth or tackling inequality between regions. SEZ are established in a geographically limited area where the territorial boundaries are clear. Indonesia SEZ are strategically located close to the sea and airport that connect zones to the global market as well as main resources. Both central and local government provide special incentives in fiscal and non-fiscal. Regarding the development of SEZ, there is a division of roles between central and government, local government, and private sectors. Central governments has several roles in establishing standards, guidelines, and manual for SEZ, as well as providing incentives and facilities to attract investors. Local government has roles in developing good business ecosystem and providing accessible services as well as administer land for investors, while private sectors have role in developing and operating the zones and optimizing employment, hence it can improve economic development. Next. The goals and objectives of SEZ is to increase economic growth, equity and equality, as well as to build region competitiveness through the development of new economic growth throughout Indonesia. Special economic zones will act as a catalyst to generate services, goods, and products from each region of Indonesia, which will then be connected to the available market through infrastructure provided by the governments. Available facilities and incentives given to the special economic zones is planned to attract investment to different regions of Indonesia. Having abundance of natural resources, investment to tap these potential resources would hopefully develop products that are competitive in global market. The realization of special economic zones and new economic growth centers would also stimulate the development of surrounding area. The realization of SEZ and its new economic growth centers would create not only direct employment, but also indirect employment from businesses, services, and development surrounding the region. Next. There are 3 location criteria that must fulfill in order to get a special economic zone status. Based on Law number 11, year 2020 regarding job creation, those criteria are: it should be in line with the regional spatial planning and not disruptive to conservation area. Second, it has a clear boundaries. And lastly, 50% of proposed area should be legally owned by the entity who proposed an SEZ. Meanwhile, the readiness criteria for special economic zones are as follows: land availability, regional infrastructure and facilities utilities, especially in the inside of the area, but the government will also provide with the facility infrastructure and facilities outside of the SEZ areas. And the third, institutional and human resources readiness, a clear business plan, and a commitment, strong commitment from the investor to develop the SEZ. Next. Some main businesses opportunity that can be developed in SEZ are as follows: industry or manufacturing, tourism, healthcare, education, energy, advanced technology, logistics and distribution, digital industry, financial, and of course, we are also open for other economic activities. Next. Indonesia Special Economic Zone is designated with geo-economic and geo-strategic advantages, as I mentioned earlier. Indonesia Special Economic Zones have special facilities as well as incentives with the purpose to attract investment.
Pak Wahyu, waktunya Pak, kurang lebih 1 menit lagi.
different main activities, and 9 SEZs of those numbers are focusing on manufacturing industry, such as in Arun Lok Semawe in Sumatra SEZ with oil and gas, petrochemical, agro, and paper industry. Semangke in Sumatra SEZ with focus on rubber industry and palm oil industry. Galang Batang SEZ in Kepulauan Riau, which will become center of bauxite industry. Tanjung Api-Api in Sumatra SEZ, which will focus on rubber industry, palm oil industry, and petrochemical. Kendal SEZ in Java Island, which is our first SEZ in Central Java. It will produce export-oriented goods from textile, furniture, food and beverages, automotive, and electronic. Palu in Sulawesi Island SEZ with primary activities consist of nickel and iron ore industry, cacao industry, seaweed, and rattan processing. Bitung in Sulawesi SEZ have coconut processing, fishery abilities, and herbal pharmacy. And BTK in Kalimantan Island SEZ, its main activities are palm oil and logging industry. Sorong in Papua SEZ with nickel smelter, forestry, and palm oil industry. Other than that, there are also 6 SEZ in tourism sectors are as follows. Tanjung Lesung in Java Island in Pandeglang of Banten provinces, Tanjung Kelayang in Belitung, Bangka Belitung, Singasari in Malang in East Java provinces, Mandalika SEZ in Lombok or Nusa Tenggara Barat provinces, Likupang SEZ in North Minahasa in Sulawesi, North Sulawesi, and finally Morotai SEZ in North Maluku. Next.
Baik Pak Wahyu, terima kasih waktunya Pak Wahyu.
And primary activities, there are a wide range of investment opportunity in Indonesia SEZ. First, investment as a tenant. The investor could develop their business in SEZ that match with the business sectors that develop in its SEZ, such as palm oil, rubber, petrochemical, as well as tourism attraction and accommodation.
Maaf Pak Wahyu, waktunya Pak Wahyu. Terima kasih Pak Wahyu. Nanti kita lanjutkan di forum tanya jawab.
Investment as a developer, the investor could cooperate with SEZ developer to operate and manage the SEZ. Third, investment as an infrastructure provider. The investor can develop infrastructure that supporting SEZ. For example, power plant, water treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant, and others. Next. Indonesia government has just established law number 11 year 2020 regarding job creation. This law is intended to simplify regulation. There are 11 clusters regulated in this law, one of which is cluster for special economic zone that regulated in chapter 9 article number 150. Some content regarding special economic zones among other. One, business field, expanding the scope of sectors, business activities, including education and health. Second, SEZ application and designation. Simplification of the proposed procedure is no longer cascaded without losing support from local government. Addition of proposal for more than one province, adding arrangements for the transformation of the free trade zones to the SEZ. Third, SEZ institute. SEZ institutional improvement. Fourth, licensing and non-licensing services. All SEZ licensing executed by administrator. Administrator can carry out independent custom services. Business license for industrial area not required. Fifth, SEZ incentives and easiness. Additional of VAT and luxury tax for taxable services and intangible taxable goods not collected. Non-industry SEZ can import consumer goods. Local governments are required to provide support, including local incentives. SEZ National Council may determine additional facilities and other easiness. Next slide, please. In order to increase Indonesia's economic growth, Indonesia's government takes effort to accelerate some projects considered to be strategic and have great urgency to be realized within a short period of time. This project, called National Strategic Project or NSP, the government will support SEZ by providing infrastructure outside the SEZ. Beginning from 2016 until August 2020, there are 97 national strategic projects that have been completed with investment value of 499 trillion rupiah, or equal to 33 billion US dollar, and it is absorbed more than 355,000 workers. Next slide. The National Strategic Project or program is still continued with 201 projects and 10 programs with a total investment value of around 320 billion US dollar. Various sectors will be included in the PSN are covers road, dam, industrial estate, railway, energy, port, clean water and sanitation, airport and irrigation, education, technology, housing, and also coastal embankment. And 10 programs including development of smelter, super hub in several locations, 35 gigawatt electricity, economic activity, toll exit access, food security, tourism strategic zone, waste treatment plant, border area, development of border area, and regional development acceleration program. We are also expected that China companies will contribute in investing for the development of those national strategic projects and programs. We plan that more PPP scheme will be applied to speed up the project implementation. This is the end of my presentation. Once again, I'm so thankful for this opportunity. I wish success and looking forward to learning about the outcome of today's webinar. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Share.
Very much, Mr. Wahyu Utomo. You have a very comprehensive and exemplary presentation. We have the detail on the wide range of opportunity that China's investment can be involved in the SEZ in Indonesia. I think you can start thinking about the question you would like to ask, put it in the field of the chat of the Zoom and also VOOP that provided. We are going to come back to you very soon. Now, we have an opportunity to have a little bit in brief, a success story of one SEZ is a SEZ Galang Batang, located strategically close in proximity of Singapore and also the Strait of Malacca. One is Galang Batang SEZ is one of the example of the success story of Indonesian SEZ. The SEZ Galang Batang, which is jointly investment between Indonesia and Chinese enterprise, developed in Bintan Island in Singapore. SEZ Galang Batang main activities lies in aluminium refinery with projected total production is something like 1 million ton per year. We have a look at the Galang Batang SEZ. Okay, that is the short video on the Galang Batang SEZ that located in proxy of very close, not in proxy, very close to Singapore, yes, just the adjacent. Now today, this morning, we are very fortunate to have senior representative of the Galang Batang SEZ, Mr. Robert Sianipar, on my right hand side. He is also accompanied by the director of PT Bintan Alumina Indonesia, Mr. Santoni, who is managing Galang Batang and developing Galang. Good morning, Mr. Santoni. I hope you can hear my voice clearly. Okay, we have several minutes to discuss and digging a little bit more about Galang Batang SEZ with Mr. Robert Sianipar, and if necessary later on, we will ask Mr. Santoni to also explain about Galang Batang. Mr. Robert, good morning.
Good morning.
We understand that you've been involved in Galang Batang development for a long time. Can you tell us and the audience in China a little more about its location and also what is the industry that Galang Batang trying to embrace? Please, Mr. Robert.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Edip, the moderator. Very good morning to all the audience, excellencies, and ni hao. Okay, let me explain a little bit about Galang Batang. It has been shown at the video. You have seen that. Maybe I will just quickly explain a bit about Galang Batang. Can you put the slide, please? Galang Batang is located very much to Singapore. It's maybe about 1 hour by ferry ride. Yeah, and it has its own airport. You can reach Galang Batang from Jakarta easily. And Galang Batang designated as a special economic zone by the government of Indonesia in 1917 and inaugurated its operation in 1918. Right now we are in construction in almost finishing the stage 1, and we'll start producing the alumina by the first quarter of 2021. As you've seen, this is our main activities, and this is our activity zone. And one of the unique thing about Galang Batang, in addition to producing aluminum products, at the same time, Galang Batang would also producing the textile and garment industry. This is one of the unique approach that the workers, the male workers who work at the Galang Batang aluminum smelter could also have their wives work at the garment industry, and it has been done in China, and it will be duplicated here in Bintan Island in Galang Batang Special Economic Zone. Next. Yeah, the stakeholder of the Galang Batang Special Economic Zone, which is managed by PT Bintan Alumina Indonesia, as has been mentioned, is the major stakeholder is from China, Shandong Nanshan Aluminium Limited, and also now we embrace the second major investors, which is Fresh Metal Aluminium from Malaysia and also from Indonesia, PT Mahkota Karya Utama. Next, and this is this location. If you could see the map of Asia, on the southern tip of that map, you can see Singapore, and Galang Batang is just next to it. Next. Okay, this is the layout plan. The area of Galang Batang Special Economic Zone encompasses an area about 2,330 hectares, which is extended from the south, which is, if you've seen, from the port, that has been built, and to the north, for the smelter aluminium. And within that area also, we'll have industrial complex that could accommodate different different products. Of course, mainly we hope other investors could help to have end products of aluminum, because we will produce the aluminum ingot. But in addition to that, we also welcome other investors who are not in aluminum type of business, but another area of business that could maybe make use of natural resources from Indonesia, and to come to invest in Galang Batang, because we have a port that strategically have a direct access to the open sea, that could bring your products to Asia or even to Europe and North America. Next. And this is for Galang Batang itself, in addition to manage the Special Economic Zone, PT Bintan Alumina Indonesia also produce aluminum product. As you can see, that will produce alumina and also aluminum ingot, as has been mentioned, 1 million ton per year, and carbon anode about 522 ton per year. And we have been equipped with all the infrastructure needed, to support our operation, from the water resources and to the electricity, and we'll produce also the gasification of coal that enough for our roasting purposes to produce the aluminum ingot and alumina too. Next. This is the seaport. This is now has been more equipped. You can see the crane right now. It has been without crane at this time, but all the equipment listed with the yellow color over there has been completed right now. Next. Alumina refinery is ongoing. We hope it will be completed by the end of this year, such as that by the beginning of next year, February or March, we will produce our alumina with the production capacity of 1 million ton per year. Next.
Got your point, Mr. Robert.
Yes.
So, but I must continue with the next question from the audience.
Okay.
Who is the biggest investor in SEZ Galang Batang? Can you explain a little bit more to them?
Okay. Right now, PT Bintan Alumina Indonesia is the main investors. Okay, so we are not only managing the Special Economic Zone, but we are also producing the alumina and aluminum ingot, and hopefully all the products that we'll be using this aluminum ingot as a end of product for based on the alumina. So that's our biggest investor right now. But we have accommodated, we have welcome also several interests. Once we are ready, then we'll welcome the new investors also that would operate within the Special Economic Zone of Galang Batang.
Okay. From your slide, Mr. Robert, we can see that Galang Batang is not only today's place of investment, it's a kind of sustainable green investment into the future. Okay. Can you give us some clue, Pak Santoni also here, how SEZ Galang Batang can provide benefit for the government in this case?
Yeah. So before we start, actually, we prepared a feasibility study conducted by international consultant Frost and Sullivan, and we have informed them the purpose of this investment, and they have made the analysis, and that not only it will provide workers for 20,000 opening job, for the workers to be employed in Galang Batang Special Economic Zone, but it will also provide of a revenue, up to 8.67 billion US dollar within the 15 years, or about 578 million US dollar per year. Of course, this will also, the Galang Batang and its associated companies will also contribute to the government of Indonesia of the general state income taxes of about 48.1 million US dollar per year. And so in addition to the government, we open jobs for people, it's about 20,000 ultimately.
Okay, without hearing from the correct and directly from Mr. Santoni, the Chief Executive Officer of the SEZ Galang Batang. Mr. Santoni, could you tell a little bit more regarding your plan on developing the Galang Batang into the future place of Asia, the future place of investment, the sustainable place of investment in Indonesia? Please, Mr. Santoni.
In Mandarin.
Selamat pagi, Pak. Bahasa Indonesia bisa, Pak? Dengar, Pak? Suaranya nggak masuk.
Is the voice heard?
喂 ，Hello， 听到吗？听到吗？大家好。喂，没有声音，没有声音，没有声音，听不到。喂。
Please, Pak Santoni, please. We can hear you.
没有声音，听不到，听不到。喂，听不到，听不到，没有声音啊。Pak Robert, suaranya nggak ada, Pak.
Ada, Pak.
Ada, Pak. Bapak langsung aja, Pak, dengan Mandarin, Pak. Langsung, Pak.
Langsung aja, Pak.
Oke, yang di pertanyaan yang mana, Pak? Yang saya harus jawab, Pak.
Nah, kenapa, why SEZ Galang Batang should be in the focus of the China investment? Why?
呀，我们是在嘎朗巴当，我们经济特区的很多的优势了，因为我们投资在嘎朗巴当，第一是政府也很支持我们，然后呢，政府给我们的优势，经济特区地方很靠近新加坡，出境什么就很容易，在我们槟丹岛投资，等等的问题就很容易解决，没有什么很大的困难，他们就喜欢在这里投资。我们投资了，在经济特区的2017年，政府给我们了，在2018年我们开始到2年我们就要做好了，这是一个很方便的，政府给我们很方便的优势给我们。lanjut.
Sudah selesai, Pak Santoni?
Suaranya nggak ada ya.
Oke.
政府给我们批准给我们那个经济特区是2336公顷。我们主要的目的还是建氧化铝跟电解铝，还有等等其他的工业，还有几间大公司也是要进来投资了。现在进来我们投资就是南山集团已经进到我们这里园区在建氧化铝厂。其他如果有商家要来这里投资呢，我们也是可以帮到他们很多忙，简单的这里投资等等就没有什么大的问题，大概是这样了，谢谢。
For in-depth, detailed, comprehensive presentation, ladies and gentlemen, in China, in Indonesia. After we have met Mr. Robert Sianipar and also Mr. Santoni, I think there is no doubt anymore that Galang Batang SEZ is your destination, your futures today and the future happening in Indonesia. As Mr. Robert say, is a connectivity from Indonesia, from China to the world forever. Thank you very much, Mr. Santoni. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert.
Thank you, Mr. Elip.
Okay, after Kendal SEZ, now we are flying a little bit south to the island of Java to hear the presentation of the Kendal SEZ. It's not far from here, from the place we talk now, this webinar, Semarang. It's not far from here. The presentation will be provided with Mr. Robin Ang. I think it will be easier for you to understand. The representative of the Kendal Industrial Park. I would like to remind you that we have only 8 minutes of presentation, Mr. Robin. I think you use the time wisely and directly hit the Chinese heart. Please, Mr. Robin, time and place for you.
Materi. Materi saya belum. 大家好，Thank you for moderator。我尊敬的印尼特别经济区委员会政府领导，我尊敬的印尼驻中国大使、中方政府领导，还有企业领导，大家早上好。我们的园区的全名呢是肯德尔滨海湾肯德尔园区，如今呢是爪哇岛唯一一个工业特别经济区。Next， 我们这个项目呢非常受到印尼政府与新加坡政府的强烈支持。对印尼来说，这个项目呢如今已经规划成印尼战略性项目，而对新加坡政府来说，这个项目呢除了是新加坡国营所投资的项目，也是和印尼政府合作的一个平台。Next， 印尼政府与新加坡政府呢，每年都有举办高峰会议。2016年的高峰会议呢，就是产生了我们园区的开幕典礼。过后陆陆续续呢，2017、18、19年呢都有高峰会议。而在这个2019年的高峰会议呢，印尼总统佐科提升肯德尔园区成为这个特别经济区。Next， 我们看一下肯德尔园区的股东。肯德尔工业园区呢是由印尼加巴贝嘎上市公司还有新加坡盛科所开发的一个工业园区。特别在这个盛科，它在中国也开发了很成功的园区，比较有代表性的当然是这个苏州工业园区。Next。我们看一下我们的地理位置呢，是在印尼的中爪哇。说到中爪哇呢，它跟中国其实从很久以来都有这个经济文化交流，这个可以追寻到15世纪明朝永乐年间郑和下西洋7次呢，3次就是登陆在这个三宝垄。Next， 三宝垄的郑和庙如今都有600年历史。Next。我们看一下这个爪哇岛的一些信息。我们的地理位置就是在这个中爪哇，中爪哇呢，它也是西爪哇跟东爪哇的一个交界处，而印尼3大国际港口也是坐落在这个爪哇岛。Next， 我们看一下我们的地理位置。我们地理位置这里就是我们肯德尔园区，从我们的园区呢到这个国际机场、三宝龙省会，还有这个现有的国际港口呢，非常优势。距离大概是30分钟到40分钟的车程。Next， 我 我们园区的规划 next。我们园区呢总面积是2200公顷，第一期呢我们已经开发了1000公顷，而我们园区呢会规划成几个部分，第一呢就是家具行业，第二就是这个电子、加工食品、纺织服装、汽车零部件，还有一些包装跟物流。Next， 这个就是我们园区开发的6大定位。Next， 目前呢我们总共有63个公司已经投资在我们园区，这里有3大行业，就是服装纺织、电子，还有这个包装行业。Next， 目前呢，在今年我们总共有10家公司已经开始建设他们的厂房，比较有代表性的呢，就是世界500强中国联发纺织，台湾知名的服装如虹，还有中国的柏林，还有世界500强从中国的这个亨通集团。Next， 在我们园区呢，总共有8家工厂已经开始运营了，比较有代表性的当然是这个印尼跟中方合资的这个自行车。Next， 而在我们的标准厂房呢，今年也有多了7家公司开始要运作他们的工厂了。Next， 我们看一下我们肯德园区的6大优势。Next， 这里呢就是我们肯德工业园区的第1期，而在这里周围呢正在开发4大宏观基础设施。第一个宏观基础设施呢，就是这条全爪哇岛的收费路，这条收费路在2019年已经开始运作了。第二个呢，就是这个肯德港口，在2022年将开始使用成为肯德国际港口。第三个宏观基础设施呢，就是在2021年呢将开始提升这个火车铁路，时速会达到这个160到180公里每个小时。第四个宏观基础设施也是非常重要的，在2021年呢将开始建设一条环路，这条环路呢是从这个肯德尔线到这个勒马线。Next， 说到肯德尔国际港口呢，它是由印尼港务局还有新加坡港务局所一起开发的。Next， 第二个优势当然这个人工成本是非常重要的。在这个图表可以看到，这个中爪哇特别是肯德尔，它的这个人工工资非常有优势，每人每月大概是1100人民币。Next， 第三的优势就是中爪哇它庞大的人力还有完善的教育。Next， 第四呢，就是我们园区提供一站式服务，就包括帮忙投资者申请他们公司准证还有运营准证，这些的。Next， 第五的优势就是我们5通1平的完善设施了。Next， 第六个优势就是特别经济区优势，就是申请这个公司所得税优惠，这个增值税减免，出口税减免，还有这个进口无限制，还有配额没无限制。Next， 这个可以申请公司所得税优惠，可以长达10到20年的优惠。Next， 这个特别经济区优惠呢，也包括这个劳工法令这些，在特别经济区只允许一个工会。Next， bisa diputar Pak。好的，谢谢大家。今天就是我的一些讲解关于我们园区的资料，请大家欢迎来联系我们。Thank you。
SEZ Kendal is a place where you can invest and you can jump to 3 stages of marketplace. First, the 300 million Indonesia marketplace. The second, the 600 million ASEAN marketplace. And of course, the 7 billion the world marketplace. Kendal is a place where you can reach global market, because Kendal is a SEZ that under siege by the best infrastructure in Java, in Indonesia, toll road, airport, port, and also railways is available to be accessed in Kendal SEZ. Thank you very much, Mr. Robin, for your comprehensive and detailed information. Now, we are going to have a next presentation. The next presentation is from Palu Special Economic Zone. Yeah, is a little bit east to Indonesia, at the adjacent of Makassar Strait. Makassar Strait is the deepest strait in Indonesia, which is, passing by thousands of the mother vessel, and has a very good port of Pantoloan. A little bit story about Palu. In 2018, Palu city has been attacked by the 7.7 scale Richter earthquake, and followed by a tsunami in the area. I don't want to waste my time with the history. Palu SEZ presentation will be provided by Mr. Agus Rahmat, Director of the Palu SEZ Developer, BPST. Please, Mr. Agus Rahmat, times and screen for you. Indra. Ya, Pak Agus, tolong di unmute dulu, Pak. Mic Bapak, ya. Your mic unmute. Pak Agus, mic-nya dan videonya dibuka, Pak, kalau bisa, Pak. Kayaknya masih di mute, Pak, mikrofon Bapak. Terima kasih, Pak Agus. Belum.
Bisa, Pak? Pak Edi? Yeah. Thank Slim, our great moderator today. His Excellency Mr. Rizal from the Ministry, and Mr. Jauhari, Indonesian ambassador for China, and Mr. Zhu Ningning. First of all, I would like to explain a little bit about Palu Special Economic Zone. Palu Special Economic Zone is located in central Sulawesi Island, the center of Indonesia. We have three main zones, consist of industry, export, and logistic. Palu Special Economic Zone is very strategic because it is only located 25 kilometers from Mutiara Airport and also 5 minutes from Pantaloan Seaport. Palu Special Economic Zone cover an area of about 1,500 hectares at first phase, and we plan to expand the area in the second phase, cover an area about 8,000 hectares. Palu Special Economic Zone is integrated into deep sea Pantaloan Port. The port is located in front of the World Trade Logistic Road, or Indonesian Archipelagic Sea Line 2, which is as a main road to bulk vessel to transport minerals from Australia to East Asia countries such as Japan, China, Taiwan, and Korea. Indonesia raw material within maximum 500 kilometers radius, such as minerals, nickels, gold, cobalt, iron ore, andesit, corn, also agriculture products such as coconut and rattan, also marine product is available. Another key issue is that based on Jokowi's administration has been decided to shift the capital city of Indonesia from Jakarta to Penajam Kutai, Kertanegara in East Kalimantan. And Palu Special Economic Zone is strategically opposite closely to East Kalimantan, the new capital city. Palu Pantaloan Port is about 300 kilometers in distance to Kalimantan, especially Samarinda, and only 340 kilometers to Balikpapan. Palu Special Economic Zone is abundant of andesite materials for concrete products to supply infrastructure development in new capital city in Kalimantan. Basic infrastructure which is available in Palu Special Economic Zone consists of power plant, also water supply, security system, and drainage access. PT Pelindo 4, the owner of Pantaloan Deep Sea Port, is planned to upgrade and expand the size of the port to support a logistic hub of Palu Special Economic Zone and economic growth of Central Sulawesi. PLN, as electricity state company, has built 150 kilovolt substation inside the Palu Special Economic Zone, and also plan to build the 2 times 50 megawatt coal-fired power plant. PT Brantas Abipraya Indonesia, for precast concrete and construction, has been signed the MOU with joint operation between BPST and STM Tunggal to enter precast and water supply in Palu Special Economic Zone. Utility prices in Palu Special Economic Zone, this is important. First, Regency minimum wage in Palu City in 2020 is 2 million, around 2 million rupiah. Next, water, about 800 rupiah per meter cubic. Gas also $6 US, and price of land. Immature land, 20,000 up to 50,000 per meter square, while mature land range from 150 up to 250 rupiah per meter square. My last presentation is tenan of company engagement, which is already exists in Palu Special Economic Zone. First, PT Asbuton Jaya Abadi Asphalt Production. The second, PT Hongtai International Company Investment from China, Product Pine Trees Resin Industry. The third, PT Kailiratan Industry Investment from Indonesia, Running Industry, Ratan Industry. And the fourth, PT Tata Koko Abadi, Product Clay Bricks, Tile and Ceramics. Next, PT Alpha Industry Mandiri, Products Cocoa Fiber and Carbon Reactive. PT Wan Hong Indonesia, also investment from China, Running Copper Recycling. And then PT Indomangan Industry, Running Manganese and Smeltering. And the last one is PT Trinitan Metal and Minerals, which will product nickels and galvanese smelting. That's all my presentation,
ya, Pak
Mr.
Agus.
Rajiv. Thank you. Xie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agus Rahmat from Palu Special Economic Zone. I think he provides you with information regarding the location of Palu and also the access of the mineral resources. That's the core of the existence of Palu SEZ. Iron ore, also nickel and everything. So if you're doing the business related to these resources, it would be much, much better to promote sustainability of your business starting from Palu Special Economic Zone. Thank you very much again, Mr. Agus Rahmat. My best to Palu Special Economic Zone. I have some note to be communicated to you. Please, to the participant, fill the questionnaire that we share to you through the Zoom and also VOOV channel. Kindly, your response, your answer is very contributive to us in expanding our facilitation in the future, making it perfection, and also to welcome you in the SEZ of Indonesia anywhere, anywhere you choose to invest in the futures to come. Thank you very much for your participation to fill the questionnaire. Next is the Special Economic Zone Bitung. Special Economic Zone Bitung is located in Sulawesi, North Sulawesi, at the adjacent of Palu, up of Palu region. I think Palu SEZ is one of the SEZ that very close to the China mainland. SEZ Bitung have a very big resources of natural, including in this area is fisheries, coconut products, and also herbs for medicine, traditional medicine in particular. SEZ Bitung, along with local government, have committed to build green SEZ. I think is one of the SEZ in Indonesia that now engage with the code of conduct to maintain the integrity of social and also environment through a special code that now also being developed for all SEZ in Indonesia. At the adjacent of the SEZ Bitung, there is a port called Bitung Port that is projected to be the biggest super hub port connecting Indonesia to the Pacific Ocean, to American continent, North American continent, also American continent on the south, and also from Indonesia to the East Asia, Canada, and also including here China mainland. I will give time for screen and also the opportunity for promotion to Mr. Christy Manarisip, representative of PT Membangun Sulut Hebat. Mr. Christy Manarisip, times and place for you, please.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. My moderator is really good, brief history of the Bitung SEZ. Okay, let me start, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, distinguished guests. Please, next. Next slide. This is the profile of Bitung SEZ. Next profile. Okay. Bitung SEZ, with established by government regulation number 32 2014 and proposed by the government of North Sulawesi. The land area is 534 hectares and then can extend it to 2,000 hectares. The development area is around 2.3 trillion rupees and the business investments is 32.9 trillion rupees. The projection of labor is around 34,710 people, and it's very impact to Indonesian economy. Next slide. This is the infrastructure. We have around 36 kilometers from Manado City to Bitung SEZ with the toll road. We have a toll road and 8 kilometers from Bitung Seaport and it's around 30 kilometers from Samratulangi International Airport. The core business of Bitung SEZ is first is coconut industry that is very known because the coconut tree is very plenty, the plantation in North Sulawesi. And the second one is the fishery industry. You know, people know Bitung as the exporter of fish to international market. Next, pharmacy industry, as you mentioned before, and the other one is logistic. We prepare the logistic area, and also we need what we call is new growth industry. And you know, this is our supporting business is based on agro-based industry. Development plan is around 2,000 hectares. Next. Yes, as you can see from the slide, the advantage of the flight or sea from Bitung Seaport compared to Tanjung Priok Seaport. As I can mention that from Bitung Port to Busan, Korea is around 2113 sea miles compared to Tanjung Priok to Busan 4142 sea miles. Bitung Port to Shanghai 1901 sea miles compared to Tanjung Priok Port to Shanghai 3526 sea miles, and Bitung Port to Kaohsiung 1346 sea miles compared to Tanjung Priok Port to Kaohsiung 3429 sea miles. Bitung Port to Hong Kong 1423 sea miles compared to Tanjung Priok Port to Hong Kong 3365 sea miles. As from these slides, it's very competitive for the route from the Bitung Seaport compared to Tanjung Priok Seaport in Jakarta. Okay, next slide. Yes, as you can see, we have two investors from China. The one is CRBC, China Road and Bridge Corporation. The other one is PT Putai Sulawesi Utara, is also from China, and the other one is tuna exporter PT Marina Nusantara Selaris Fishery Industry. Okay, next slide. I think that is the facility and the advantage of Bitung SEZ, and of course, we are welcome to all investors from China if you come to Bitung SEZ. Thank you very much. 谢谢.
Thank you very much, Pak Christy. I think you can get the clue. If you invest in Bitung SEZ, you can conquer the protein-based fisheries in which we can provide the nutrition for all parts of the world that connect Bitung to Los Angeles, Bitung to Tokyo, and someone else. I think we are going to continue with our next SEZ presentation. The next SEZ presentation is the far, far east of Indonesia, is from Sorong, Papua. Yeah? Located in Papua, as Sorong SEZ have a big resources for nickels, which make it also potential for future investment, nickels, for any product of the wood needed. As representative of Sorong, Mr. Dimas, representative of PT Malamoy, Olom Wobok, will provide you with more information. Mr. Dimas, screen for you. Please.
Excuse me, can you hear my voice clearly, my moderator? Excuse me, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, Pak, we can hear you, Pak. Please continue, Pak, Mr. Dimas.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for Mr. Moderator. The Honorable Mr. Tanan Arya Dewangga, the Honorable Mr. Johari Uratmangun, the Honorable Mr. Su Ningning, the Honorable Mr. Rizal Kandi Lukman, the Honorable Mr. Wahyu Utomo, Mr. Budi Santoso, Mr. Enoh Suharto Pranoto, Mr. Bambang Wijanarko, Honorable all staff of the Council of Special Economic Zone, and the representative of the others SEZ. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hopefully, you are always in a good condition and keep healthy in the pandemic situation like now. My name is Dimas. I am representative of the PT Malamoy Olom Wobok, the business entity who is developing and managing the Sorong SEZ. Please your regard in the presentation about investment opportunity in Sorong SEZ. Let's start. Next slide, please. The contents of this presentation is about introduction, Sorong SEZ profile, investment attractiveness, existing facilities and infrastructures, supporting regional infrastructures, investment and business opportunities, master plan, and the investment procedures. Next slide, please. Introduction. As you can see in the picture, there is 15 special economic zones in Indonesia, and the special economic zone of Sorong is in the right place in the island of Papua. The core business is industry. Okay, special economic zones is designated areas in Indonesia endowed with geo-economic and geo-strategic advantages, where special facilities and incentives are extended to attract investment. Development objectives of special economic zone increase investment through the provision of areas endowed with geo-economic and geo-strategic advantages, optimization of industrial activities, export, import, and other economic activities which has high economic value, accelerate the regional development through the establishment of new economic growth centers to balance the development among regions.
Pak Dimas,
And
maaf
embodying a
Pak Dimas,
breakthrough
sebentar
in
Pak
regional
Dimas.
development,
Excuse me Pak Dimas.
for
I
economic
think we
growth,
have a
namely
not very
industry,
good
tourism,
connection
and
between
trade to
Sorong
create
and Semarang.
job opportunities.
Pak,
Next
your
slide, please.
connection is not really smooth ya, because your voice
Sorong
is something
SEZ
like breaking up. So
location of the Sorong
I think
SEZ
it would be
is
better to make
district,
your
Sorong
presentation
Regency,
clearly
Papua
and
Province.
strongly based on your
Proposed
slide.
by Sorong Regency government.
Please Pak, thank you.
Legal basis establishment through government regulation number 61 of 2016, operating since 11 October 2019. Development area is about 523.7 hectares, and developer is PT Malamoy Olombogo.
Pak Dimas,
Zone is
sinyal
industry,
Bapak suaranya
logistics, and
patah-patah Pak.
port processing.
Patah-patah, jadi maksimalkan penggunaan slide Pak untuk
Manpower
komunikasi.
estimation.
Dan dipercepat Pak ya, please.
Okay. Terima kasih. The location of Sorong City is 4 hours from Jakarta, and the location is 50 minutes from Sorong Central or Sorong Airport. And now, next slide, please. Investment attractiveness, the location advantages. Geo-economic location is potential in geo-strategic location, strategically located in the international trade route of Asia Pacific and Australia.
Pak Dimas dipersingkat ya, waktu Bapak 3 menit lagi Pak.
Okay. Investment attractiveness in the facilities and infrastructure. We have available airport, main road, main sewage, internet facilities, and administrator office, security facilities. For sporting regional infrastructures, super port, ferry port, catapult, fish landing days, airport Geo Sorong, national road to airport, power plant 50 megawatt, and clean water system. Next slide, please. As you can see in the slide, that is the picture of the airport, main gate, main road, main sewage, internet facilities, administrator office, and the security facilities. Next slide, please. See, this is supporting regional infrastructures for Sorong port, ferry port, excuse me. Back to the slide. Number 9. Okay. Investment and business development opportunities for the industrial zone. Sorry. Is nickel processing, fishery processing, palm oil processing, wood processing, agro processing, and coal processing. And the logistics zone is for warehousing, shipyard, packing plant, refueling station, water distribution, assembly plant and refinery, and SEZ development. Next slide, please. And the master plan, as you can see in the picture, is the designated area. For information at the left of the picture, you can see the information about the location. Example for red color is airport zone, and the dark pink is designated area for large industries, and the light pink is designation area for medium industries. Next slide, please. As you can see, this is the 11 steps how to doing investment procedures in Sorong SEZ.
Baik Pak Dimas, karena waktunya sudah habis, kami juga mengharapkan Bapak betul-betul bisa mempersiapkan file Bapak yang seoptimal mungkin agar audiens, karena suara Bapak putus-putus ya, breaking part. Jadi betul-betul Pak, slide Bapak, perangkat komunikasi visual Bapak diperkuat untuk bisa menjembatani terjadinya koneksi yang rawan seperti ini, gitu Pak. Oke, terima kasih Pak Dimas. Kami akan lanjut nanti dalam tanya jawab, mungkin sambil kita perbaiki koneksi dengan Bapak. The last SEZ that we are going to promote the information is MBTK SEZ, located in the Borneo, Kalimantan Island. Located in Kutai area, Kutai region, SEZ MBTK is the potential location in Indonesia for import and export at the adjacent of Makassar Strait, while Palu on the right hand side, MBTK on the left hand side. Mr. Ade Himawan, the operational manager of Perusda Corporation, Melati Bakti Satya, will give information to you regarding the advantage of SEZ MBTK. Mr. Ade Himawan, time and screen for your kindness. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunities. Good morning, distinguished investor, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Ade Himawan from Perusda MBS. Okay, today I will present about MBTK SEZ. Next. Okay, Malaysia Trans Kalimantan has the status Special Economic Zone recently launched by the Indonesian government in 2014. It has benefits for investors in terms of fiscal incentive and fiscal SEZ. And on the right is the profile of MBTK SEZ. MBTK SEZ has an area of 509 hectares. MBTK SEZ has a number of facilities such as international port, roads, water supply with the capacity around 200 liters per second, electricity around 30 megawatts, and much more. Next. Okay, the connectivity to Malay. From China, we can go to Jakarta, Surabaya, Singapore. After that, we can choose to go to Balikpapan or Samarinda by road. From Balikpapan to Malay around 8 hours, and from Samarinda to Malay around 6.5 hours. Next. Okay. The advantages of investing in MBTK SEZ are: you're surrounded by rich natural resources such as palm oil, gas, minerals, and coal. Located on the Indonesian archipelagic sea lanes 2 or ALKI 2, which is the path of international trade sea beside ALKI 1 and ALKI 3. And then same interconnection lines Kalimantan and Sulawesi, which is the trans-regional cross-path Borneo. As Kalimantan is prepared the SEZ on the central processing of palm oil and its derivative, industrial minerals, gas, and coal and tourism. Has planned construction of an international port and handling and improved access routes to support the smooth supply of raw materials and distribution of industrial products of East Kutai. And MBTK SEZ has a complete legal establishment as listed below. Next. As a whole of MBTK SEZ divided into three large clusters, which were built in stages. First cluster is oleochemical with an area of 5,305 hectares. Second cluster is coal-based minerals with an area 21,195 hectares. And the third cluster is chemical with an area of 1,000 hectares. And the main activity in MBTK SEZ is palm oil and its derivatives. And the second is wood processing industry. And the third is the logistics. Next. This is MBTK zonation. On the right, we can see the details. There are several that have been built, such as power plant, water treatment plant, office, wastewater treatment, and international support. Next. Yeah. MBTK SEZ divided into 5 zones. The first is oleochemical, second food industry, the third non-food industry, other industry, and supporting facilities. Next.
Pak Ade, waktu Bapak 3 menit lagi ya Pak.
Baik Pak. This is the MBTK master plan based on the zonation. The green is for basic oleochemical, the blue is for the food industry, and the pink zone is for non-food industry. Next. This is the land of our MBTK. The area of the MBTK SEZ, a lot are divided into 3 sizes: 5 hectares, 3.5 hectares, and 0.5 hectares. Next. Yeah. MBTK SEZ area have 3 types of roads in the area based on their weight. First, green line with 47 meter weight, yellow line with 40 meters weight, and the red line with 26 meter weight. Next. Okay. Malo SEZ development SEM in 2020 until 2025. Malo industry cluster development and application for infrastructure and facilities management including management permit. Next.
1 menit lagi ya Pak Ade.
Okay, this is the existing condition in MBTK SEZ. In this picture, we can see the office complex and the causeway and other facilities. Next. Okay, this is the MBTK international seaport with the capacity 10,000 until 65,000 DWT. Vertical capacity 154,251 ton, and then the port depth is 0 to 20 mlys. Next. Okay, this is the last slide. This is the water treatment plant that have been built. Clean water demand is 200 liters per second supplied from Kaliorang, and system secret and system priorities 250 liter per second. Secret system is also supplied for secret villages. Next.
Demikian penjelasan dari Pak Ade. Kita ini dulu Pak, kita akan proceed karena waktunya sudah terlalu siang juga di China. Mohon maaf Pak ya. Jadi saudara-saudara sekalian, ladies and gentlemen, we have hear from Mr. Ade that MBTJ is the treasure of Kalimantan, in which you can find oleochemical, biochemical, and also you can find over there is the coal-based industry you can develop in MBTK. Next, we are fortunate to have the presence of Mr. Bambang Wijanarko, senior official of the Secretary of the Indonesia Special Economic Zone, Coordinating Ministry of Economic Affairs, Republic of Indonesia. Ini gimana nih? Mr. Bambang, please, times and place for you.
Okay, good day, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers, and all the participants in this webinar. It is an honor for me to have an opportunity to inform you regarding the incentives in special economic zones, both fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. Even though today is late, but I hope you can join this information because it's quite essential during this webinar, because all the incentives will be explained in this session. So as the other speaker mentioned before, right now we have 15 special economic zones. Those SEZ have different primary activities or main industries. For the fiscal incentives, I will start with the corporate income tax in the first place, CIT. So we have two schemes of CIT. The first is tax holidays. It will be applied for developers and tenants who have the primary activities or main industries. Or the second one is tax allowance for tenants who have other activities than other industries. So this tax holidays incentive actually including for developers, it will be given 10 years, zero corporate income tax for minimum investment of $6.9 million US. While for tenants, it depends on the minimum investment. It will be given 10 years, zero corporate income tax for minimum investment of $6.9 million US. It will be give 15 years, zero CIT for at least investment of 34.5 million, and 20 years will be given for zero CIT, at least investment for 67 million US. While tax allowance are applied for all other activities apart from the main activities or the primary industries. These are including, first, its reduction in net income of 30% of the amount of invested prorated at 5% for 6 years. And then the losses carried forward for 5 years, and it could be extended up to 10 years. Accelerated depreciation and amortization also applied for these facilities. Dividend tax 10% or lower for treaty countries also given for this. And then the next slide, we have the second fiscal incentives. There are value-added tax and luxury tax. These incentives are applied for goods from outside SEZ and for all industries. So this applied for all industries. It is including VAT and luxury tax. They are not collected in these facilities. And also it applied for delivery of taxable goods and also taxable services. Taxable services are including first like construction and then contract manufacturing and also services related with the repairs and other during the development stage. The next slide please. So the next fiscal incentives are for import incentive. These facilities are applied to all industries, so no matter primary or other industries, they are covering the capital goods and also the raw materials. So start with the capital goods, the exemption of import duty, and then the VAT import is not collected. Luxury tax is not collected. Import income tax is also not collected for all the capital goods that going to SEZ. The raw materials, first, there will be deferred for import duty. Value-added tax import also not collected. Luxurious tax are not collected. Import income tax is also not collected for all raw materials and also auxiliary goods that for processing in the industry. So these facilities are also become the fiscal incentives. Next slide, please. So those all that I have mentioned above are the fiscal incentives. How about the non-fiscal incentives? So other than fiscal incentives, non-fiscal incentives are also applied and will be given in every special economic zone, such as, first, there is no export obligation for any industries that in special economic zones. The second one is quite attractive. There is possibility for 100% foreign ownerships. So the negative lists are not applied in SEZs. The third, 0% duty for products with at least 40% of the local content. So duty free for at least 40% of local content. Number 4, limitation goods is not applied for the goods entering the special economic zone. And additionally, all the permit and licensing will be provided by the administrator, who will become one-stop service in special economic zone. Therefore, all will be done, the paperwork in special economic zone. So another non-fiscal incentive are special treatment for foreign workers. So it's related with the immigration. For foreign workers, there will be facilities, visa on arrival, that could be extended up to 5 times. And then for the temporary resident status, they will be given for foreign workers and also their families. While the permanent residence status, will be given for the property holder and also the senior foreigner who own the property inside the special economic zone. And the last non-fiscal incentive, special regulation, will also apply for the land titling. The special treatment for special economic zones are including the certificate like right to use, or we call it hak pakai in Indonesia. It's titled up to 80 years, while the building right or hak guna bangunan title up to 80 years, and also some special accelerated procedures. But actually not only that, the government will support through the infrastructure throughout the special economic zone as another non-fiscal incentive that will be given for this SEZ. So in the future, in 2020 up to 2025, we have the development strategy. So from the previous slide, incentive in SEZ are not only the factor to boost the SEZ competitiveness. However, improve the SEZ attractiveness to investor, Indonesia SEZ will focus development on following strategy. So the first, it will be increasing the export-oriented products which have global value chains, such as fashion industries, textile and apparels, furniture, automotive, and also textiles. And then the second, to compete in global supply chain, future industries need to focus on the automation and the development of Industry 4.0 in every industrial sector. The third, the developing downstream industry, which is not only process raw materials from mining to farming, but also gives added value and increasing contribution for the regional economic development. And then the developing industry which have high economic potential, such as IT, financial services, education, as well as healthcare service in SEZ are also going to be developed in our SEZ. So I think and lastly, to improve the balance rate by acquiring industry which will substitute import in the following sectors, such as chemical, pharmacy, machinery, and also electronics. By the following strategy, SEZ would continue to further improve its competitiveness and attract wide variety of investment to SEZ. So with this slide, I will finish my presentation. Hopefully my presentation would give insight to all the participants. Furthermore, we would like to build and create opportunities which would benefit for Indonesia SEZ. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Bambang Wijanarko. I think everybody here from directly the first person regarding the benefit you can gain by investing in Indonesia SEZ. Thank you, Mr. Bambang, again for your comprehensive and compact presentation regarding SEZ facility and incentive. So, since the beginning, 1 hour ago to now, we also already witnessed what facilities and incentives become a great tool to attract foreign direct investment in Indonesia. You can choose out of the 15 SEZ existing today in Indonesia. You can play like Mr. Rizal Effendi Lukman in the first place already explained. You can choose wide varieties of engagement you can do in doing your investment in Indonesia, starting from tenants even to the management of the SEZ itself. So again, we are now, I think it's very also important to know the explanation from Mr. Tanon Arya Dewanga. He is now currently the Deputy of Cabinet Work Support, Cabinet Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia. Formerly, Mr. Tanon Arya Dewanga is Special Staff in the field of Law and International Relations, Cabinet Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia. Dr. Tanon Arya, time and screen is yours, please.
Thank you, Mr. Edi Muslim, as a moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon. Peace and prosperity be upon us all. His Excellency, Mr. Jauhari Oratmangun, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to China, Distinguished Deputy Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, or the representative, honorable representatives of the National Council, esteemed participants from home and abroad. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tanon Arya Dewanga, Deputy Cabinet Secretary for Cabinet Work Support. One of this Cabinet Secretariat, which is one of the institutions in the Presidential Office, is to monitor priority programs of the President, one of which is the development of special economic zones. As we are all aware, the special economic zones designation aims to stabilize the economic and social conditions so that they are always healthy and dynamic. Furthermore, given that Indonesia is a large and vast country, acceleration of regional developments is needed, in addition to becoming a breakthrough model for the regional developments to drive the economy. This policy is also intended to stimulate economic growth in order to reduce gap between regions in Indonesia. Thus, Indonesia will become an attractive zone for investment destination. I believe all of you have a lot in mind and want to obtain certainty regarding investment in the special economic zones. I will provide some examples regarding the government commitment, including crucial decisions on the special economic zones made during meetings led by the President and the Vice President. On 13 April 2015, regarding the Mandalika Tourism Special Economic Zones, the President gave directives to develop environment-based tourism. On 20 May 2015, regarding China's interest to invest in the development of special economic zones, the President gave directives to pay attention to China's offer of strategic projects development. On 15 June 2016, regarding the Sorong Special Economic, the President called for certainty on the readiness of infrastructures and its supporting facilities, including electricity, as well as to avoid overlaps between the institutions. On 17 March 2020, regarding the Mandalika Tourism Special Economic Zones again, there are 4 instructions, namely land clearing resolution, marine infrastructures improvement, electricity supply, and the building of international hospital. On 22nd June 2020, on acceleration of 4 special economic zones, namely Galang Batang, Kendal, Mandalika, and Seimangke, in which internal consolidation is needed to accelerate the 4 special economic zones. Those examples show the government's strong commitment. The special economic zone is a priority program, and the progress report is always requested. Next. Thus, You don't need to worry, since the functions of monitoring and reporting are very strict. As I said earlier, the government discussed the Mandalika Tourism Special Economic Zones 3 times to ensure its smooth development. The function of supervision and monitoring are performed in order to monitor and evaluate the continuity and progress of the special economic zones, and the results are reported directly to the President. Cross-ministry institutions meetings are also held to prevent bottlenecks. The government is very concerned about this issue because the special economic zones have positive multiplier effects, and it can serve as leverage for Indonesia's economic growth. Furthermore, the existing hindrance can be overcome with the job creation law that already mentioned by Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman, and there's no need to worry because the government is really concerned about the development of special economic zones. The function of monitoring is also carried out by Cabinet Secretariat through a follow-up to limited meetings led by the President in order to find whether the bottlenecking efforts have performed or not. The data on the implementation of previous limited meeting is a small example of a monitoring function, in addition to actively visiting the special economic zones periodically. Finally, I invite you all to invest in Indonesia, and please do not hesitate to invest in Indonesia, because Indonesia is the best place to invest. Before concluding my presentation, allow me to quote the President's statement on the limited cabinet meeting of 30 October 2020, which said that the boosting exports and investment are the keys in the economy. Thank you for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Tanon. I think you can now hear from the very early bird of the presentation to Mr. Tanon. We can see the seriousness, the persistence, and the focus of the administration of President Jokowi to the development and the expansion of the Indonesia Special Economic Zone, both in terms of developing incentive or developing non-fiscal incentive, including here infrastructure, support of the policy, and so on. Today, I think we have many questions that arise from the audience going to us. Now we have one question that come to us that I think, can you show me the question that we would like to know? If you want to have a question that to be answered, please put your name, your organization, your underlining question, and then to whom that you are specially delivering the question. Now, I think I have one question that to certain extent, you know, imagining the whole pictures of audience, that directed to Mr. Bambang Wijanarko from the Coordinating Ministry of Economic Affairs, Secretariat of the National Economic Zone. Here, the question is there any mini tax incentive for supporting industries that do not involve in the investment criteria of the respective special economic zone? Here, Mr. Bambang will answer the question directly to you. Please, Mr. Bambang, time is yours.
I hope I could answer this question. First, so You asked me about the investment criteria. Probably we know that we have primary activities or main industries or other industries. So for the all industries, apart from the main activities or primary industries, they will be given like a tax allowance instead of the tax holiday. So I hope I could answer this question quite clearly. But other facilities are all the same, whether primary activities or other industries or other activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bambang. I think
udah ya.
This is the second question, yeah. One last question that come and directed to Mr. Bobby. I think it's Mr. Bobby, Director of Asia Economic Cooperation. The question is regarding how serious is Indonesia to attract foreign investor from China, particularly in the midst of global uncertainty. In this case, Mr. Bobby, if you are available, time and place is yours. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Pak Edip Muslim. Thank you very much. I think question is very interesting and very important. China is the major investor for Indonesia right now. I think from the beginning, I handle China portfolio. China is only number 10 in investor country, investing country for Indonesia, but now it's already number 2 or number 3 behind Singapore and Japan. Singapore and Japan is always number 1 and number 2. They're changing several times in the last few years, and China is improving from number 10. The first time I handled China in 2010, but now China is around number 3. But mostly official from China said that China is number 1 because investing from Singapore is also a Chinese company. So I think the question is very important. Indonesia and China is having a lot of many international forums, especially in economy. Our office, Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, has a special forum. We call it a high-level dialogue between Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs and State Consular from China. The dialogue is held every year, and then all the economic issue handled at the dialogue. Not only infrastructure, but also labor and special economic zone and many other issues. And then we maintain the dialogue very, very often. Because of COVID, we don't have the dialogue this year, but we will have it next year because the dialogue usually in physical, not by virtual. That's why we are doing everything with the China. We open investment. And also, I think, as you said, that you see that we have a lot of cooperation with China other than economy. We also vaccine and everything. So our office, Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, will maintain the high-level dialogue with the China, and then we will continue to promote special economic zone as part of the topic, because China is interested in a special economic zone, especially like industrial estate. They are interested also in special economic zone. That's why promoting special economic zone to China is must and very important. Especially you can see how serious the Ambassador Pak Johari already giving opening remarks. Pak Rizal, the Deputy Minister for International Economic Affairs, and Pak Wahyu also presenting all the potential of special economic zone in Indonesia. So we cooperate with Special Economic Zone Office to promote the special economic zone to China other than other country. But as you know, other country maybe not as eager as China in investing in special economic zone or industrial estate. Like Japan, they are not quite interesting because we are doing a serial webinar or talk. I think number one, China is the number one potential investor for special economic zone, and then industrial estate in Indonesia. That's why we will focus to maintain, because investment is not only how to attract, but we have to maintain. Because maintaining investor is more difficult than attracting. Attracting is one way, but maintaining you have to have two ways. That's why our office always keep a connection with the government of China, Ministry of Commerce, and as well as NDRC, and then we keep on to promote the special economic zone. That's why we also invite State Secretariat to the webinar today, so we can maintain how serious Indonesian government to promote investment as well as trade. Thank you, Pak Edip. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bobby Siagian. I'm going to underline what Mr. Rizal Afandi Lukman stated in the early of our discussion, that this year marks the 70 years of Indonesia-China relation. However, I would like to underline here that it's not 70 years. The relation between Indonesia islands and the China mainland, it's going back to the 12th centuries, to the 13th centuries. 1272, we have that, relation of the fleet from China come to Belitung in Sumatra, going to Palembang, going to Semarang. At this very place, we are conducting these webinar facilities. We witness it's going back to thousands of years back. So the relationship of business, of trust between China and Indonesia is forged back 1,000 years ago. So we are going to continue this relationship with a stronger base of mutual beneficial investment, mutual beneficial relation from one country, from one nation to the other, from China to Indonesia. Together, we will conduct sustainable investment for us, for Indonesia, for China, together for all over the world. Thank you very much. We give applause to the participants and also the presenter. Okay, thank you very much. I think it's now in Beijing now is already overtime your lunchtime, and now Indonesia is entering. We are in a different time zone. We are already passing the limit of our time here in this place. Thank you very much again. We will see you. Please contact us. Do not hesitate. Again, thank you very much, Ambassador, Mr. Deputy, Honorable Deputy, and everybody from the Indonesian SEZ. Thank you very much. Just saying, Alhamdulillah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll give my time back to Ms. Dinar, please.
Thank you, Mr. Adib Muslim, for running the FGD very well, our moderator in charge today. Finally, we've come to the end of this event, and we would like to thank all the speakers, the panelists, SEZ developers, and also the honorable participants for the invested time. We apologize for any mistakes that has happened, be it our technical problems or us being a little bit tardy, but however, we do hope that what we have today will be useful and can actually bring us or resulting in upcoming opportunities to cooperate with each other. And see you at the next event. I'm signing off. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.